Computer security, also known as cybersecurity or IT security, is the protection of information systems from theft or damage to the hardware, the software, and to the information on them, as well as from disruption or misdirection of the services they provide. It includes controlling physical access to the hardware, as well as protecting against harm that may come via network access, data and code injection, and due to malpractice by operators, whether intentional, accidental, or due to them being tricked into deviating from secure procedures. The field is of growing importance due to the increasing reliance of computer systems in most societies. Computer systems now include a very wide variety of smart devices, including smartphones, televisions and tiny devices as part of the Internet of Things, and networks include not only the Internet and private data networks, but also Bluetooth, Wi-Fi and other wireless networks. Vulnerabilities and attacks. A vulnerability is a system susceptibility or flaw, and many vulnerabilities are documented in the Common Vulnerabilities and Exposures database, and vulnerability management is the cyclical practice of identifying, classifying, remediating, and mitigating vulnerabilities as they are discovered. An exploitable vulnerability is one for which at least one working attack or exploit exists. To secure a computer system, it is important to understand the attacks that can be made against it, and these threats can typically be classified into one of the categories below. Backdoors. A backdoor in a computer system, a crypto system or an algorithm, is any secret method of bypassing normal authentication or security controls. They may exist for a number of reasons, including by original design or from poor configuration. They may also have been added later by an authorized party to allow some legitimate access, or by an attacker for malicious reasons, but regardless of the motives for their existence, they create a vulnerability. Denial of service attack. Denial of service attacks are designed to make a machine or network resource unavailable to its intended users. Attackers can deny service to individual victims, such as by deliberately entering a wrong password enough consecutive times to cause the victim account to be locked, or they may overload the capabilities of a machine or network and block all users at once. While a network attack from a single IP address can be blocked by adding a new firewall rule, many forms of distributed denial of service attacks are possible, where the attack comes from a large number of points, and defending is much more difficult. Such attacks can originate from the zombie computers of a botnet, but a range of other techniques are possible, including reflection and amplification attacks, where innocent systems are fooled into sending traffic to the victim. Direct access attacks. An unauthorized user gaining physical access to a computer is most likely able to directly download data from it. They may also compromise security by making operating system modifications, installing software worms, keyloggers, or covert listening devices, even when the system is protected by standard security measures. These may be able to be bypassed by booting another operating system or tool from a CD-ROM or other bootable media. Disk encryption and trusted platform module are designed to prevent these attacks. Eavesdropping. Eavesdropping is the act of surreptitiously listening to a private conversation, typically between hosts on a network. For instance, programs such as Carnivore and Naru's Insight have been used by the FBI and NSA to eavesdrop on the systems of Internet service providers. Even machines that operate as a closed system can be eavesdropped upon via monitoring the faint electromagnetic transmissions generated by the hardware. Tempest is a specification by the NSA referring to these attacks. Spoofing. Spoofing of user identity describes a situation in which one person or program successfully masquerades as another by falsifying data. Tampering. Tampering describes a malicious modification of products. So-called evil-made attacks and security services planting of surveillance capability into routers are examples. Privilege escalation. Privilege escalation describes a situation where an attacker with some level of restricted access is able to, without authorization, elevate their privileges or access level. So for example, a standard computer user may be able to fool the system into giving them access to restricted data, or even to become root and have full unrestricted access to a system. Phishing. Phishing is the attempt to acquire sensitive information such as usernames, passwords, and credit card details directly from users. Phishing is typically carried out by email spoofing or instant messaging, and it often directs users to enter details at a fake website whose look and feel are almost identical to the legitimate one, preying on a victim's trusting. Phishing can be classified as a form of social engineering. Clickjacking. Clickjacking, also known as UI redress attack or user interface redress attack, is a malicious technique in which an attacker tricks a user into clicking on a button or link on another web page while the user intended to click on the top-level page. This is done using multiple transparent or opaque layers. The attacker is basically hijacking the clicks meant for the top-level page and routing them to some other irrelevant page, most likely owned by someone else. A similar technique can be used to hijack keystrokes. Carefully drafting a combination of style sheets, iframes, buttons and text boxes. A user can be led into believing that they are typing the password or other information on some authentic web page while it is being channeled into an invisible frame controlled by the attacker. Social engineering and Trojans. Social engineering aims to convince a user to disclose secrets such as passwords, card numbers, etc. by, for example, impersonating a bank, a contractor, or a customer. Systems at risk. Computer security is critical in almost any industry which uses computers. Financial systems, websites that accept or store credit card numbers and bank account information are prominent hacking targets, because of the potential for immediate financial gain from transferring money, making purchases, or selling the information on the black market. In-store payment systems and ATMs have also been tampered with in order to gather customer account data and PINs. Utilities and industrial equipment. Computers control functions at many utilities, including coordination of telecommunications, the power grid, nuclear power plants, and valve opening and closing in water and gas networks. The Internet is a potential attack vector for such machines if connected. But the Stuxnet worm demonstrated that even equipment controlled by computers not connected to the Internet can be vulnerable to physical damage caused by malicious commands sent to industrial equipment which were infected via removable media. In 2014, the Computer Emergency Readiness Team, a division of the Department of Homeland Security, investigated 79 hacking incidents at energy companies. Aviation. The aviation industry is very reliant on a series of complex systems which could be attacked. A simple power outage at one airport can cause repercussions worldwide. Much of the system relies on radio transmissions which could be disrupted, and controlling aircraft over oceans is especially dangerous because radar surveillance only extends 175 to 225 miles offshore. There is also potential for attack from within an aircraft. The consequences of a successful attack range from loss of confidentiality to loss of system integrity, which may lead to more serious concerns such as exfiltration of data, network and air traffic control outages, which in turn can lead to airport closures, loss of aircraft, loss of passenger life, damages on the ground and to transportation infrastructure. A successful attack on a military aviation system that controls munitions could have even more serious consequences. Consumer devices. Desktop computers and laptops are commonly infected with malware either to gather passwords or financial account information, or to construct a botnet to attack another target. Smartphones, tablet computers, smartwatches, and other mobile devices such as quantified self-devices like activity trackers have also become targets, and many of these have sensors such as cameras, microphones, GPS receivers, compasses, and accelerometers which could be exploited, and may collect personal information, including sensitive health information. Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, and cell phone network on any of these devices could be used as attack vectors, and sensors might be remotely activated after a successful breach. Home automation devices such as the Nest thermostat are also potential targets. Large corporations are common targets. In many cases this is aimed at financial gain through identity theft and involves data breaches such as the loss of millions of clients' credit card details by Home Depot, Staples, and Target Corporation. Not all attacks are financially motivated, however. For example, security firm HB Gary Federal suffered a serious series of attacks in 2011 from hacktivist group Anonymous in retaliation for the firm's CEO claiming to have infiltrated their group. And Sony Pictures was attacked in 2014 where the motive appears to have been to embarrass with data leaks and cripple the company by wiping workstations and servers. Automobiles. If access is gained to a car's internal controller area network, it is possible to disable the brakes and turn the steering wheel, computerized engine timing, cruise control, anti-lock brakes, seatbelt tensioners, door locks, airbags, and advanced driver assistance systems make these disruptions possible, and self-driving cars go even further. Connected cars may use Wi-Fi and Bluetooth to communicate with onboard consumer devices, and the cell phone network to contact concierge and emergency assistance services or get navigational or entertainment information. Each of these networks is a potential entry point for malware or an attacker. Researchers in 2011 were even able to use a malicious compact disc in a car's stereo system as a successful attack vector, and cars with built-in voice recognition or remote assistance features have onboard microphones which could be used for eavesdropping. A 2015 report by U.S. Senator Edward Markey criticized manufacturer security measures as inadequate, and also highlighted privacy concerns about driving location in diagnostic data being collected, which is vulnerable to abuse by both manufacturers and hackers. Government and military computer systems are commonly attacked by activists and foreign powers. Local and regional government infrastructure such as traffic light controls, police and intelligence agency communications, personnel records and financial systems are also potential targets as they are now all largely computerized. Impact of security breaches. Serious financial damage has been caused by security breaches, but because there is no standard model for estimating the cost of an incident, the only data available is that which is made public by the organizations involved. Several computer security consulting firms produce estimates of total worldwide losses attributable to virus and worm attacks and to hostile digital acts in general. The 2003 loss estimates by these firms range from $13 billion to $226 billion. The reliability of these estimates is often challenged. The underlying methodology is basically anecdotal. However, reasonable estimates of the financial cost of security breaches can actually help organizations make rational investment decisions. According to the classic Gordon-Loeb model analyzing the optimal investment level in information security, one can conclude that the amount a firm spends to protect information should generally be only a small fraction of the expected loss. Attacker motivation. As with physical security, the motivations for breaches of computer security vary between attackers. Some are thrill seekers or vandals, others are activists or criminals looking for financial gain. State-sponsored attackers are now common and well-resourced, but started with amateurs such as Marcus Hess who hacked for the KGB, as recounted by Clifford Stoll, in The Cuckoo's Egg. A standard part of threat modeling for any particular system is to identify what might motivate an attack on that system, and who might be motivated to breach it. The level and detail of precautions will vary depending on the system to be secured.